So today we're going to be making this little caterpillar worm bookmark guy. I know there's a lot of these out here, but I do feel comfortable making this one because there's so many. And this is probably one of the first things I ever learned to crochet way back in the 80s when my grandma first taught me. This is what I started off with. Chains and spirals and just practicing, getting my tension right. So if you're a beginner, this is perfect for you. You can add little beads to it. You can add a bell to it. You can put a tassel on the end. You can leave the end just as it is. A little charm. Pretty much anything you can think of to add to it. Okay, so let's get started. First, you're going to make a slip knot, or if you're like me and the slip knots just are beyond you for some reason, just make a little knot over your finger, around, and then through that hole where your finger was. And then you want this loop to be fairly small because you're going to be doing a chain into it. So just basically big enough to fit your hook into. And I'm going to be using a 4.5. You can use any yarn and any matching hook, but I would go down 2 sizes from your recommended. So this yarn recommends I think a 5 or a 5.5, and I would go down to a 4.25 or a 3.75. So this one's 4.25. So you're going to chain. I picked 75. There's no right or wrong amount. Just depends how long you want it. After you make your first one, you can do a little less, a little more. Just remember that when you do these spirals, it's going to take about half of your chains. So this is 20 chains long, or 20 chains, whereas 20 chains is probably this long. Okay, so let's chain 76, which will be 75 plus one more because we're doing single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, which is the length I want, and one more because we're doing single crochet, and we'll be going into the second hook from the chain. Now I'll measure this just in case you want to compare. Unstretched, laying flat from my hook to my knot is 17 inches. Mine is a touch long because my beads, that's the end of my worm, and then I left the beads down past it. So it's a little longer than some books. Okay, so now you want to take a little scrap chunk of yarn. Where's the scrap? Here's a, how scrappity scrap are you? Not too bad. And from your second chain from your hook, you're going to want to count 20 stitches back, because you are going to do multiple single crochets in each one of these stitches until you get to 20. And it's a lot easier to mark it than to try and remember how many stitches you've got in. So we won't count this first stitch. That is considered the first stitch from your hook. If you can see those little V's there, the one on your hook is not considered anything for this project. This is considered your second chain from the hook, and that is where we're going to start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just keep counting the V's, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It doesn't matter where you put your stitch marker, if it's in the 20th stitch or in the 21st stitch, just remember which one you did. So I'm, oopsie, of course it fell right behind me. So I'm going to be putting mine in the 20th stitch, so just remember you have to put your last stitches in that, whereas if you put it in the 21st stitch, you're going to stop here and not put any stitches where your stitch marker is. Oh, I need that. Okay. Which way do I want this? This way. So in the second chain from your hook, remember I kind of wrecked it with my taking that out, but the first V, the second V, on the very top of that stitch, and you're going to want to put 4 single crochets. So grab your yarn and pull through, and then pull through those 2 loops, and there's 1. Go through that same chain stitch, grab your yarn, pull through, and pull through the 2 loops. That's 2 single crochets. Go through and grab your yarn. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn again, pull through. That's 3 single crochets. And one more time in that stitch, grab your yarn and pull through. Grab your yarn and pull through those 2 loops. So you now have 4 single crochets in this chain stitch. Now you're going to move on to the next stitch, and as you're going along, make sure this isn't getting twisted and you end up somehow coming in the back, because your little guy won't spiral how you want it to spiral. Okay, so the next stitch we're going to do 4 more single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're just going to keep doing this all the way down, keeping your chain straight, and 4 single crochets in the under the top of each stitch, going down till you hit your stitch marker. 2, 3, and 4. Into the next stitch, 4 more. And you'll notice it'll start curling now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If it's not curling, just kind of gently guide it with your thumb around, and it should stay in a little spiral. So 4 more in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the next stitch, 4 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And next stitch, 4 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next stitch, 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I hope you're making sure that your chain is still staying straight. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next stitch, 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 more in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Almost at the end here. 4 more in this stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the next stitch, 4 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Couple more stitches left. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Four more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And like I said, if yours isn't curling like mine, spin it as you go. I unconsciously am spinning it with the backs of my fingers and didn't even realize it. So one more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now if we all counted right, we are on our last stitch. So I will take that stitch marker out and put my last 4 stitches. Don't panic if you have one more stitch or you're 1 stitch ahead of me. You already made it there. You can either put one more set of 4 in, or you can end it where you are. It's not going to matter. And then I twist it when I get to my last one, and I put a little, I kind of find in my last chain here on this side, I'll just put a little slip stitch down in there. And then we will tie that off and leave quite a long tail because there's quite a bit of weaving in that I do. You don't have to, but I feel like it, the way I'm going to show you, it'll give you a lot, it'll keep this tight in a little spin instead of like if you pull it and then go like that. If you like it like this, you can just weave your end normally, but if you want to keep it nice and tight and compact, then I'll show you how I get mine like that. Where's my end here? Okay, so thread your working yarn onto your needle. And what you're going to do, kind of get it the shape you want. So if you want it kind of long and skinny, tighten it. If you want it a little shorter and fatter, spin them the other way. I kind of try and find my front, and I'm going to make this my front, I think. Or am I? We'll see when we get to the top. So I'm going to put my yarn up in through kind of the middle, but not the center. So I'm kind of catching a little bit of these stitches as I'm going up. Like, see? And I'll be in that one. You don't want to see it, but you want to make sure you get a nice grab of some of them stitches. And then I am going to stitch about 3 or 4 of these top. So this is where you started. So this 3 or 4 of these, 2, 3 or 4 folded onto the other side. And just kind of line it up so it looks natural, like a little head. And you're just going to go in the 2 pieces. So here's a V here, and this would be a V here. And you're just going to go back and forth about 3 or 4 times. However you feel looks about right to you. So get in those 2 stitches and these 2 stitches. Actually, I think when I did the other one, I just went in the outside loops. But I think this will work too. It'll definitely be a little more secure going through both. It's too bad. This is about the prettiest yarn, green yarn. It just doesn't show up in the camera. It's almost a teal, but it's more to the green side than the blue side. It just looks like a faded old kind of light bluey green in this camera of mine. I don't know why the camera doesn't like blues for some reason. Okay, so this will probably be my front. Twist it so you are happy with it. And then you're going to go down the other side just like you came up. Kind of hide this piece down in the cracks a bit. And then go down through all the layers of this side. See, I see my needle, so I think I'm a little close to the outside, so I'll just push it in a bit. And then come out about here somewhere. keep getting a piece of fuzz on here. Okay, now you can find a place to kind of tie it off, and then you'll just kind of weave up and in. I'm going to tie off right here on this piece. It might be a good idea to tie on actually your chain. Then it's, yeah, let's do that. Okay. So just get a knot in there. And I'm going to tie mine twice. And what you want to do now is get it so that this little knot you made goes up in the center, but you're going to push it out a bit onto the side so you're catching something and not just air. And just go up and down a few times. I can't decide the front or the back here. Don't go around this way, you don't want to see that. Find where you are and just go inside a little bit. I think I'm going to go about 4 times. And then we'll just cut it off when I get back to the bottom. I just definitely gave myself a generous amount. Make sure as you're going you're not squishing it too much and you're just loosely getting that string back and forth in there. Because if you pull it too tight, you're just going to have a little circle of a guy. Instead of a long body. Especially if you wanted the taller, skinnier one. Okay, now I'm just going to cut that off. And then we'll decorate the bottom a little bit. I'm going to use beads. Oh, and also, if you made this a little short, so it's like this, this is a cute little cat toy too. I made a few of these as cat toys. Let's see, what do we want? We want rainbowy, so, or I want rainbowy, so we want red. Oops, I have a needle right here and I tried threading it without one. So we want red. And then we want yellow. No, orange and then yellow. My daughter tells me the acronym for this all the time and I don't for some reason learn it. So then we need green because yellow and blue make green. And we need blue and then we need purple. Oh, that's blue. Oh, sorry. I'm not even on the camera. There we go. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I never know which side to put the pink on if you put pink on. But I think either way works. And there's usually 2 purples, so I usually put a pink on there. But I'm not putting pink on. I don't usually put pink on my rainbows. Okay, so you got your rainbow ones, or however, whatever you're doing. Then I'm going to put a white one on. How did I do this? Oh yeah, okay, get rid of your darning needle. Ideally, I'd like to make a knot and have it end here. But I haven't fiddled enough with it to figure that out. So I'll just make a, or like I get too much of this in there and it's thick. So I just kept it like this. Make your knot like when you started. And you want that to slide all the way past the thicker part, if you can get it there. So that your actual chains aren't in the knot. Okay, so I'm just got past it. Actually, I did a little better on this one. So I'm just going to tighten this knot now, and now those beads won't come off. And you're just going to thread this little tail in and out of the bottom of your chain here. If you do it the way I would like it done, you're going to have this under the beads. On this one, I'm not even near close to what I wanted. It just depends how much of this string you have. And I did a good job here. See, look at here. I had that much. So there's another thing. Practice makes perfect. Not everything is always as you like the first time around. And we all make mistakes. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're experienced. There's always a learning curve to everything we do. Someone could be the best advanced crocheter in the world, and there may be a stitch they've never even tried and they struggle at when they first get going at it. So we're all kind of beginners in some way or another during our process. I'm going to cut that. It's kind of a mess, but hopefully that'll be covered. So you just pull the beads down. That's another reason the beads are kind of nice, because you can cover that little weaving in end at the end of here. If you just put a bell on it, you're probably going to see that. Or you can put a tassel on the end, whatever you think or want to try. Also, as I was doing this, lately I've been brushing all my stuff out with one of these, just a pet brush, and or one of these. This is just from the paint section at the hardware store. And I thought this might be cute, like fuzzed up like a little caterpillar. Especially if you wanted to try, like, you know those black and yellow caterpillars that are super fuzzy? They're about that long, but they're like as thick as my thumb. That would be super cute on here. But I don't feel like all the yarn changing, so I'm going to stick with solid colors. Okay, so last step, you'll just want to glue your eyes on, and I'm not going to do that on camera because I don't use my glue gun anywhere than on my hard kitchen counter, and I don't feel like setting the camera up over there. You all can figure out how to put your own eyes on. These ones, you could also just use like a good glue. Good glue would probably be better than a hot glue gun anyway. And then it'll just look like this. Thanks for watching my channel. I hope you find stuff on it that you enjoy, and there could be other things on my quick and easy playlist that you might want to try. If you want to like and subscribe or comment, or if you've seen something a little more on the original side and you would like me to try making that, let me know. I'm always looking for something that people can't find that might be popular, because I really don't want to copy anybody else's ideas or stuff like that. So enjoy making your little worms. If you want to share any of your makes with me, if you go down in the description, there is a link that I think I'll have it as Facebook share or something like that, and that will take you to my craft page. And at the very top, pinned at the top of the page, there's like a YouTube kind of button, and you can put photos in the comments there. I'd love to see the colors and the different ends you put on, and you're free to make and sell as many of these as you want, or give them away, whatever you choose to do. Once you see this video, it's in your mind and it's yours to do everything with except for claim as your own pattern. So have a good day, be safe, and happy crocheting.